Good morning, fools. Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast presented to you by Music Never Stopped. I'm your host, Clint.
I'm your co-host, Chloe, and we are less than 2 weeks from the second All Jammed Up Fest.
Well, we're all jammed up and we're ready to blast. It's time for Clint and Chloe's Music Podcast.
2 weeks.
You thought I was gonna kind of go somewhere with that. You gave me a side eye secretly. I saw it.
I didn't give you a side eye.
You
I was
went
looking
like
right
this.
at the camera.
You went like this.
I was looking right at the camera. You can run the tape back.
Run it back.
I was looking right at the camera.
Yes, less than 2 weeks.
Go get your tickets in the bio.
I'm so excited. I'm very excited. I hope people are as excited as we are.
I think people are. People
This
seem to be
shit
excited.
about to be...
It's going to be...
It is.
We have a great episode today. There's someone I've been trying to get in the podcast for a little while now, Carson Moore, and he brought his friend Miles along, who I'm glad came along, was a funny guy, contributed a lot.
They're just buddies?
They've been friends for like a long time.
Oh,
They,
you know I love friendship.
I believe they were homeschooled, but they went to like an extracurricular school after school for their music, and that's how they met.
Oh.
Yeah. They were really cool. They were fun. You haven't listened to it, have you?
I have not. When Tom was homeschooled, we pretty much had to like send him to homeschool hangout, and like a bunch of homeschool kids were kind of just like, we would put them in the same room. There was nothing else planned. They just kind of all got together.
Yeah, I think it was just all like music kids, and that was like their whole thing.
That's fun.
But yeah, it's definitely, if you're like a music nerd, you'll like this podcast. There's sometimes, especially towards the end where they're talking, I just have no idea what they're referencing.
Yeah.
And I did listen to, there was a weather report they mentioned, and another one, I can't remember how to say it.
Oh, you put it on the story? Is it that one?
Oh no, that was like a Colonel Bruce, like his first band before Aquarium Rescue Unit. And it was like, they told me that like the album, I mean, they'll talk about it more,
Yeah.
but that album that was released was like Atlantic Records' worst performing album of all time.
Of all time?
So I like went and listened to that one song, and it wasn't great.
Yeah. I listened to the little snippet of it on the story, and I was like, this is something.
I
But-
needed to keep deep diving into,
Sir Bruce.
yeah, because like,
Did he call himself Colonel?
I have no idea.
Or is he decorated?
I don't think he's decorated. I think he probably, because he called Jeff Sipe like APT Q258. He called that other guy King something.
Yeah. So they're just...
Yeah, I
they
think
just
that was
have-
like his thing was nicknames. But
I love a nickname too.
But I still need to dive deep into it because I haven't quite got it yet.
Yeah.
The Colonel Bruce lore.
Yeah.
Like, I just haven't been like, maybe it's, I need to watch some live performances or something.
I mean, that's what swung us over onto Jeff Austin, so...
And like, I do think sometimes like when that music is so improvisational,
Yeah.
sometimes I just don't get it because like it's like maybe it takes a musician to understand what's happening a little bit more.
Yeah.
'Cause I do
mean,
think,
that's
like,
kind of
I've-
like the Fish argument for us too, is like, maybe we just got to see it live.
Yeah, because I do feel like I've been, like, from doing the podcast over the past however long, year and a half, there's like, I understand things now that I wouldn't have before.
Yeah.
But there's still some things where I'm just like, I don't really get that, or I don't get why it's so, like, appealing, or whatever it may be, whatever the case may be. So maybe I just need to do a little more.
A little more deep diving into the
Yeah.
live stuff.
But they gave me some great recommendations, some like jazz recommendations, because if anyone's been listening to a lot of the podcasts, you know that like, not that we're tired of jam bands, but trying to just learn about other musics than just jam bands.
Yeah.
And they gave me a bunch of good jazz recommendations, and I started listening to some of them today, and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, nice.
It's really just like nice, easy listening, and there's some parts that you just like kind of like make a little stank face at.
Yeah.
So it was a fun interview. Those guys are really smart. They know their stuff. So I was excited. I was really happy with it.
Speaking of stank face, I went back and I listened to Exit 59 by Disco.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's good. That's got
Yeah.
a fun, funky bass in it. This might be blasphemous. The vocals kind of sounds a little bit like Cool Maroon 5.
Cool Maroon 5.
Yeah,
well, I think
like-
Maroon 5 is cool, so.
I do think Maroon 5 is cool, but I know that the people are gonna hate that I said that. I don't fuck with Adam Levine. I like Maroon
What Adam
5.
Levine do?
We don't have to get into it.
Oh.
I don't really like his character.
From meeting him personally.
No, I've never met him. But I do think I've seen Maroon 5.
I used to love that song. Really makes me wonder if I ever gave a fuck about you. I wonder if I'll get flagged for that on YouTube.
Yeah, because I sound so good about
Well, I
it.
was talking about me when I was going. but-
Yeah, they wouldn't flag you. No, they might flag me though. Yeah.
All right, whatever you say.
Raise their flags. And then so I haven't listened to it yet, but Tommy, dobro player from Fireside, released a solo single.
Yeah, it's instrumental. It's cool.
That's
Nice,
really
yeah.
sick. And it seems he was like a bit nervous on Instagram putting it up there, like a little, I don't really know what I'm doing, but here's this. So I am very excited to listen to that. It's called For John. Go give Tommy all the love in the world because he deserves it. But super stoked to see something solo come out of that band.
Yeah, it was cool. Maybe he'll do more. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. You want to
Yeah.
save all that for afterwards?
Yeah.
A good old-fashioned Chloe's Corner today. A lot of stuff in the music world this week, including the King. Billy Strings is back.
He's back. The freaking black and white set lists are back on the feed.
So yeah, we'll enjoy this interview with Carson and Miles. We'll
And
see you
then
on the back end.
Come chat with us after.
Honey, you're listening to some all jammed up.
And then he starts talking and fake blood starts pouring out
That's
on the radio.
That's
It's
so
fucking
sick.
insane. I mean, the bit, and it's just on stage. The level of bit commitment that
Do
they
they
have.
do that like at their shows too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is the
And
whole
they're-
band in on it? Is it just them?
They're all in on it, but it's mostly just them. Yeah.
Okay, because I
They're
had
great.
Corey and Harry, and they were both just like, I can't remember which one was which, honestly, but they were like, I would ask them a question, they'd be like, yes. And I was like,
No, that shit. It's so funny. They're such entertainers. I mean, it's unbelievable. And a lot of people, they do it. It's on all the time when they're on stage or doing interviews. So a lot of people don't even know that they aren't like that because you talk to them and they're completely
Yeah.
normal. But I hear a lot of people. They're like, "Oh, you know, like Harry or Corey." I'm like, "Yeah, I love those guys." And they're like, "They're really weird." And I'm like, "No, they're ingenious comedians. Like,
just
it's
comedians in the wrong field.
not even. I think it's perfect. I think that if they changed anything, it would just be like, it would not be the same thing. It's such a part of their show. It's so good. I mean, did you not know that they were gonna do the bit? Did they tell you, or
No.
did they just did it?
No, they just did it.
Did you know that it was a bit while they were doing it, or did you just think that?
I had watched like a majority of their interview on What's the Reason for This, and they were. I think maybe he knew that he was in on it. Like he was in on the bit at the beginning, so everybody made more sense. And then with me, like the first 10 minutes, I was like, if you guys don't want to do this, we don't have to do it. And then I kind of picked up that they were like doing a bit, and then I think they got the idea that I didn't know, so they like one of them started answering questions, and then it goes like a normal interview, and then I got the feel for them, and then we went back to the bit.
Yeah.
So it was it was
That's so
awesome.
sick. I actually haven't checked. I just saw that it was on there. I haven't checked it out.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah, it was funny because that was like one of the podcasts that did the best, and like
Yeah,
some
that
guy
makes
commented
sense.
on it, and he was like, you need to be doing better research about who you're interviewing. You look like a fool now. And I was like, who the fuck are you, dude? I was like, shut up. I was like, maybe he's right though.
They're great. I mean, I love those guys. I mean, and also just both of them are just monstrous musicians.
Yeah.
They kind of perform in a way that is on just like the next level. And Corey is able to he's so diverse. in
He
what
plays the
does.
mandolin, right?
Corey plays banjo and Harry is the mandolin player.
Okay,
And
okay,
Harry
gotcha.
he played for a long time with Dan Kaminsky Band. Him and his partner, she's the fiddle player.
Maddie?
Yeah, Maddie
Yeah.
is. And then they're both in East Nash grads. So I think they mainly just do that now. And Corey, the banjo player, he's played with he was on Sarah Hull's first albums, and he's kind of toured with just about everybody. And they have a band called Section House, which is also really good, kind of like progressive bluegrass, some really, really cool arrangements. I mean, they're doing really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely my favorite people like on the bluegrass scene right now.
Nice, yeah, and we just kind of jumped in it, but for the guys who don't know, this is Carson Moore and Miles. How do you say your last name?
Jernigan.
Jernigan. Okay. And music, you're more just play guitar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, guitar and banjo. I mean, it's supposed to be a banjo, doesn't
It's supposed to
it?
be. I mean, who knows at this point? Like,
So I do want to know, like, we were just kind of talking about it a little bit, but when I interviewed Jeff Sipe, I asked him, like, you play with all these guys around town, like, who's someone to look up for that's kind of up and coming? And he said you. I went home, looked up who you were, and he told me you played banjo, and I watched the video. I was like, this isn't a banjo. So I want to know, like, kind of how you, like, did you pick up the banjo first? Did you pick up the guitar first? Like, how did this all kind of happen? And were you modeling your sound after someone? Because there's no one that really does quite like what you do, is there?
I mean, there's definitely people that are playing some really cool progressive stuff on banjo. A lot of the stuff that I'm most influenced by isn't banjo music.
Okay.
So I think in terms of banjo players that are direct influences, there aren't that many. Obviously, people like Bela, Fleck are incredible, but I don't necessarily draw so much inspiration in terms of like sound or the type of stuff that he plays is generally pretty different than what I do. But as just a player, he's extremely influential and has also been kind of a mentor.
Yeah.
But there aren't really any specific banjo players that I'm like I want to sound like this guy. In terms of like what I started with, I actually started playing cello when I was 3.
Okay.
My mom is a cello player. She's also like an ethnomusicologist. So I grew up with a lot of West African music in
What
the
does
house.
a cello look like when you're 3?
They make little ones.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I started doing like classical cello. I did that all the way until I was probably 16 or 17. I still play occasionally, but not really. But pretty hardcore, like traditional, like classical pedagogy, learning to read music, like all these things, like training in the way that I would train if I wanted to go to conservatory. And for a while, that's what I thought I was going to do. When I was 7 or 8, I think like 8, my mom, who has this nonprofit that brings over West African musicians to tour in the United States, we had brought over this female ngoni player, and the ngoni is like this harp-like instrument that is the predecessor to the banjo.
Okay.
And she was touring, and she had arranged for her and Bela Fleck and Abigail Washburn to do like a jam session backstage before one of Bela's shows. And when I was about 8, I got to sit like closer than me and you are right now, and just watch Bela play. And I was kind of just awestruck. And there's actually a photo of that somewhere. It's really cute. It's like me just like staring at Bela.
Is the cello fretless?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And were you playing that? Were you like with a bow, or is it like with your fingers?
Yeah, it's both. Just like
Both,
like
okay.
mostly just exclusively. I mean, it's almost always with the bow. Just
Okay.
normal classical music.
Gotcha.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd seen like a PBS documentary on tenor banjo, and tenor banjo is tuned the same way cello is. So I'd seen that actually before I met Bela, and I'd already been interested in it because like this seems like something I could do. I could play it the same way I play cello. The tuning's the same. And then I got to kind of be in the room with Bela and watch him play, and that was really the thing that kind of hooked me on the idea of playing banjo. And then I started taking lessons off and on. When I was probably about 12, I started studying with Kristen Scott Benson, who is a legendary banjo player in the bluegrass community. She's unbelievable. She's been with the Grascals for a long time. One of the best. And so I started studying like just straight bluegrass pretty much. Was still learning cello. And then when I was 14, in Greenville, where we're both from.
Okay, so you guys are based out of Greenville?
I live in between Greenville and Asheville, like on Glassy Mountain.
Okay.
So it's kind of like equal distance to both. Maybe like
Middle of nowhere, right by the state line.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
pretty much like right on the state line. But they have there's this program called the Fine Arts Center, and it's essentially one of the top 2 arts programs in the country at a high school level. And they have a chamber music program, they have a jazz program, there's a ballet program, metalworking, woodworking, creative arts, like classical
It's like
voice.
you would go to whatever high school you went to for the first part of the day,
And then
and
you'd
then
go for
either
the second
drive
half.
or take a
Yeah,
bus.
yeah, yeah.
So it'd be like 2 hours a day, and I was gonna go for cello, and I showed up and I was watching the class and I was like, this seems just impossibly boring, and I'd kind of like lost my love for studying like intense classical music at that point. And so I just popped my head into the jazz program, and I was kind of just taken by it. So I applied on banjo for the jazz program, got in, and then when I was like, 14, 15, 16, 17, like all 4 years of high school, just kind of every day would play in a jazz combo with him. This is how we met. We met on the first day of high school, like in 2019.
So being like growing up in what seems like a very like well like cultured home, I guess, as far as music goes, and then you pick up this banjo, which is more of a bluegrass instrument, at least to me, and you steered towards. Does bluegrass still like hold a special relationship with you? Do you still play a lot of bluegrass music?
I
Did
played
you
some.
ever play a lot of bluegrass music? I guess?
It depends. I mean, super traditional bluegrass, almost never. I definitely can, and like I said, I've studied it with people like Kristen for a long time. I definitely really enjoy like progressive string band music. I play a lot of acoustic banjo still, which definitely, and usually just by association of the sound of the instrument, that type, whatever I'm playing on acoustic generally tends to be more akin to bluegrass. Obviously, bands like the Punch Brothers, a lot of Bela's music. I love a lot of that stuff, and I occasionally will record music that is more in line with kind of like progressive bluegrass. Very rarely do I play super traditional though. But being at Berkeley, I'm friends with a lot of the guys that play super hardcore, like straight mash and traditional bluegrass. So I'm definitely around it, and that's definitely something that I haven't left entirely. But in terms of the music that I'm creating and releasing under my own name, it's generally kind of strayed from that. But I still play a lot of string band music, and right now I'm working on recording an EP of my own arrangements of like traditional fiddle tunes that are, I guess to call it bluegrass might be a little. It's like bluegrass-esque.
Yeah, it might ruffle some of these.
It's not traditional,
Yeah.
but definitely in line with Kruger Brothers, Punch Brothers, some of Bela's music, that genre of kind of the string band world.
Gotcha. And so when you guys met, that was high school, you said, right?
Yeah, first day of high
first
school.
day
We
of-
were the only two homeschooled people that were coming into the program, so we were both just sitting there on this bench, and we jammed on Take 5, which was it was like the only jazz song that I knew.
Yeah. So I did look at your like Instagram page and try to get familiar with you a bit. Are you more in like the blues space or jazz as well?
Sort of, kind of. I mean, I do a little bit of everything because there's sort of a sparse scene in Greenville for people who strictly want to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mostly like kind of the progressive blues scene.
So when you say like strictly want to play, like is that just like improv, or you're just trying to do like improv gigs, really?
Yeah, that's most of what I do
Okay.
is gigs where it's like we do a tune and there's a long space of improv and then we
Yeah.
close the tune out and we do it again. You know, it's like
Gotcha.
A lot of stuff. His band Hoto Mozambique is super great. It's very akin to early Aquarium Rescue Unit with
Okay.
people like Colonel Bruce and
Yeah.
kind of that
that's
world. Where it's-
kind of our prophet, man, Colonel Bruce.
Yeah, so I know that you've played with Zach and Ethan quite a
Yeah.
bit, right? Yeah, so
yeah.
I've had both Zach and Ethan separately and together on the podcast, and the conversation always finds a way back to Colonel Bruce.
Yeah.
So, and I want to know, like, I know from Zach and Ethan and from Jeff Sipe a little bit, like, why the Colonel was so important to them and like their musical journey. But I want to know, like, from your perspective, what is it about Colonel Bruce that makes him so unique and so like integral to your music?
That's so tough. But the first thing that pops into my mind when you say that is my uncle, who kind of taught me how to play bass and guitar and like anything that I ever have really known how to play. He had a VHS tape of Colonel Bruce was it the Georgia Theater?
Yeah, there's the one where he's in the
Athens,
Confederate outfit.
where he's in the Confederate outfit and he's doing basically Frightened, and O'Teal does that awesome
Yeah.
like scatting bass solo. And so I just wore that tape out. Like I would, every time I would go to his house, I'd watch it like 5 or 6 times, just over and over and over again. And he gave me that. I had that live CD, and I just listened to that over and over and over and over again, because it's like, there's something really particularly spiritual about that group. and like it's all they're improvising at the highest level, but they're not trying to like conform it to anything. It's not really rock music, it's not really jazz music, it's not really blues music. It's just like these tunes done extremely well and extremely individualistically without worrying about conforming to any strict like label.
Yeah, when I interviewed Jeff, I asked him the same question, kind of, and he was like, when I started gigging, he told the story of like his first gig with Colonel Bruce, where like he shows up late to this wedding, and he has like this goofy suit on, and one guy's like leading the improv, and then Colonel Bruce like takes his instrument out of his case and just starts playing like completely off tune at this wedding. And Jeff Sipes like, this guy's out of control. And then like he ends up going to another gig with him, and like a couple days later, they're like trying something out, and Colonel Bruce is like, everything you know about drums, forget it when you come into this space. And I always like, I've listened to a little bit of Colonel Bruce, but I probably haven't dove deep like I should. And I always wonder like, how can something that's like so disorganized and like just unique be so profound?
I think he always had the capacity to be that profound, but it never really caught until it was that group of people. Until it was Jeff O'Teal. Yeah. All of Aquarium Rescue Unit. Because Hampton Grease Band, which was his first band, made the worst selling record Columbia ever put out.
Really?
Yeah. With like go listen to Halifax. It's just, would you like to go to Halifax for like 14 minutes, and they're just going and going and going the same thing over and over again.
But I mean, Colonel Bruce was kind of like a polymath, is maybe like the right word to describe him. Actually, Marcus King just went on Joe Rogan the other day, and he described him as the Frank Zappa of the South, kind of just someone that was just endlessly creative. And he's the type of guy that if he had directed his creative energy to the sole dedication to like the study of music, he would have been one of the all-time greats. It's just his creative capacity just like could not be contained to one thing. So he's in that movie Sling Blade with Billy Bob Thornton, and it's great. He plays like this crazy like music loving guy, and he just plays.
It's the dude who tells all the lies.
Yeah, he just like tells all the
yeah.
But Sling Blade, great movie. I think came out in the 90s. But he kind of he had a hand in pretty much everything. And he's one of those guys that just had completely detached his ego from the art that he was creating. So there was never any pressure to have fame or success. It was just like, I have to say what I'm going to say, and he would just say it.
He was also completely psychic.
Yeah.
Like he would guess people's birthdays. Count Mbutu, he gave him that name. He just came up to him the first day he met him, was like, you're Count Mbutu. And he later found out his ancestry like went back to the Mbutu tribe. Like he was totally grabbing signals out of the atmosphere.
I think too, like the way that he like passed away too is like so poetic for.
And he called it. That's always what he said he was going to do, was pass away on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's like, I know like for Zach and Ethan, that's like the guy for them. Yeah. Would you say that's like the guy for you as well?
It's one of the guys for sure.
Who are the other ones?
Oh man, I mean Zappa.
Okay.
I love Roy Buchanan. Coltrane, just like anyone who was just like without like any anxiety or hesitation, just barreling towards what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Without like seemingly any self-sabotage, just as fast as possible towards the sound they hear in their head.
Now, do you guys feel that you try to like embody that when you're playing? And if so, isn't that kind of like the antithesis of like what they would be trying to, or what they were doing?
I don't really try to embody anything when I play. I actually try to just like remove any conscious effort from my performances. There's this book called Effortless Mastery. It's by this amazing pianist named Kenny Werner. And it kind of just goes in depth on the process and kind of mindset of playing in a way that's totally free and uninformed by active thought. And I subscribe to that. So I don't necessarily think about trying to do anything while I'm performing. I kind of just let it happen. I think about what I want to say like very much in depth when I'm not performing, and when I'm practicing, I practice in a way that's extremely specific that allows me to create a sound that is indicative of what I have to say. But in the moment, I'm not ever thinking about what's happening. It just kind of just is.
To be able to do that, do you feel like you have to have like complete mastery of your instrument to like go on stage and like not really have a plan of where this is gonna go, but know that it's going to work?
I kind of think that the point of effortless mastery is almost the opposite of that. It's the whole point is not overextending yourself, because obviously there's some people you're just going to make mistakes. Your hands are going to not go where they're supposed to go, and that's just going to happen. And sometimes that's almost completely unavoidable. But kind of the goal is a lot of times if someone is taking a solo, 9 out of 10 times when they fuck up, it's because they're like, okay, I'm going to play this idea that I was working on, and they're trying to consciously insert an idea into a process that is inherently fluid. You're trying to manipulate something that isn't really supposed to be manipulated.
I think, yeah, it's a misunderstanding of the point of practice, too.
Yeah.
It's like you have to do it over and over again until it's like inscribed into your subconscious.
Yeah, the point, like the point is by implementing these practices of effortless mastery, it's called entering the space is what they call it. And essentially the idea is that you're never going to play anything that you don't know how to play if you're not thinking about what you're choosing to play. You're just going to play what you know, because subconsciously you can only access what is comfortable. So obviously the end goal is total mastery over your instrument, but that's not really, that's kind of an infinite pursuit. There's not really not a definition there's not a wall that you hit where you're like, okay, this is everything that can be done. There's always new things that can be done. So that's the goal. But I think the idea is that you're trying to create that freedom without necessarily having to have reached that impossible to reach conclusion of total mastery, because essentially, if you have an idea of what you want to say, you're going to be able to manifest that in some capacity, even if your technical capacity is less than that. You kind of subconsciously just figure out how to say what you have to say with what you have.
Well, because you're pulling from the same place that those like subconscious emotions come from, I think.
Yeah.
Like that, like unthinking, just sort of spewing forth of what you feel. It's like it comes from the same place. So it's easy to have that express if you're not thinking about it too hard, you know?
Yeah, it's just such an interesting, like we were talking about before. You asked me if I play a lot of guitar, and it's like, I will sit down and play, and I just kind of run like the same things with my fingers, and then like play the same chords here and there, and it's like I can do that over and over again, and I never really progress. I'm just like at the same spot. I can do these 3 things pretty well, but I kind of get stuck because it's like I don't know where to go next because I'm not that good at the instrument. And hearing you guys like have that philosophy, it's like I'm curious as to like what happens in between like picking up the instrument for the first time and then being able to have that like thought process of like being, what did you say, effortlessly?
Yeah, effortless mastery.
Effortless mastery. So like for you guys specifically, what all happened in between like the first time you started playing an instrument to this effortless, just hours and hours or like of practice? Is it learning, like listening? I'm just curious as to like how to even begin to think of getting to a point like that.
Prolonged mental illness.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, really, like you have to be, and I think that's why it happens for a lot of people when they're a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to get obsessed with something to the point of like borderline pathology.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
you have to like yearn to pick the thing up when it's not near you, I think.
I also think
Because the only thing that'll drive you to practice that much.
Yeah, I think you get to a point where you understand that to do what you want to do, there's only one way to do it, and that is just to practice like a maniac.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that is just the reality. I mean, there's none of the greats in the type of music that we play have been able to circumvent that. That being said, I think that there is definitely something to be said for the idea of the only level per se that you need to be able to reach is the level that allows you to express what you want to express. So if what you have to say is much more involved with lyrics, then you just have to. That's what you have to practice. You don't necessarily have to be this incredible improviser to be expressive in the same way.
That was Colonel Bruce's deal, is that he didn't need to know the chords on the guitar to do what he wanted to do up there, So
Mm-hmm. He barely played guitar. But
it doesn't diminish his expression.
I mean, I would say a wonderful example. Somebody like Neil Young, one of the best songwriters of all time. I love his guitar playing.
Yeah.
But is he a technically gifted guitar player? No.
No, absolutely.
Does he really know what's happening? like enough to do what he wants to do. And it's like,
Yeah.
would I ever want it to be anything more? No, because it's exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And it's
So
because
Bruce
the message
wasn't like
is
a talented one-of-one guitar player. He was just one-of-one in the way
He
like,
wasn't
He didn't
a
even-
guitar player.
he
period.
wasn't a guitar player at all. He
Yeah,
would get up
he
there
just
with a guitar.
Is just like holding the neck and strumming most of the
He,
time. like
he might have
beating on
known
it.
a few chords. Yeah. like,
To a point.
to a point. Like,
Yeah.
no, he wasn't. I mean, to call him a musician is even like,
He was not a practitioner of the machine at all.
No,
He was
no.
sheerly a creative, which makes it almost even more kind of like admirable, I guess. But he's like, it was just to be able to get up there with sheer confidence and just, I think people tend to use it as like a shield.
yeah.
Like, don't see me, see this thing that's kind of in front of me. And then his was the opposite. He was like, see what I'm doing, don't really worry about the minutiae details
Yeah.
of what I'm actually playing, you know?
So what is your guys' like approach to songwriting? Like being so influenced by like these Coltrane, Bruce, like these guys that are so known for their improv, like when you guys write songs, is there lyrics with it, or is it mainly just these freeform songs that you guys are like just thinking of different ideas in? Because I know you mentioned that you guys are writing songs together,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, periodically, you know, over the last like decade, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like,
Just kind of nonstop, like little fragments of ideas, you know?
I mean, I've studied classical composition and kind of composition in a more like academic sense, which is not, you don't have to do that to be able to compose amazing music, but I definitely often think of composition in a way that is more structured. A lot of the songs that I've written that I am proud of do come from a place of kind of just freely exploring and then stumbling upon something. I'm like, oh, that's good. That could be something. And then once you have that idea, I've studied for so long that I kind of have the tools to be able to curate an idea and do what needs to be done with it to create a song that is presentable rather than just like one snippet. But that can take a long time, you know. I'm never one to rush the songwriting process. I have songs that I'm still tweaking, that I've been writing them for 5 years. But
No,
really
I'm
what it
exactly
is
the
that
same way,
every time
too.
I play it, I might end up playing something that I liked a little bit better than the last thing, and then it kind of slowly changes. And then and eventually I'm like, okay, I'll record it, and then you record it, and it's like, all right, now it's done.
It changes 6
But then
times.
then you know, I play it live and it's different than it was on the recording, you know, type stuff like that. A lot of the music that I play is freeform improv. The band with Jeff will improvise entire shows. That's what I like to do.
So what's to the extent of that, like improvising the whole show? Like you guys are getting there and there's no discussion. Like before the show, there's no discussion or like band practice. It's just like you get on stage and it's like, all right, let's go.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
And that's the most fun for you, you're saying, right?
When it's good, it's the
Yeah.
best.
That's kind of, you're chasing a dragon of like wanting to just like sort of coalesce all together and all just be like landing on something that you never could have done individually. But then at least with my experience with free improv, when it's not going well, it's like
It can be, yeah, exactly. It can
I
be
just
awful.
cannot stand to be on this stage
Yeah,
right now.
it's
I
nice to
hate
get
that there
on.
are people
even
looking at me.
with Jeff, and again, I'm
That's just
I'm
the
of
nature
I'm
of
of the
improvising.
opinion that Jeff is one of the best drummers of all time. And I remember we were playing a show, and the first set was, we had just played a show that was fucking killing.
Yeah.
And the next show we played the first set, and it was, I mean, it's never going to sound bad because the people that I'm playing with are great. Like
Yeah.
like the band, you know, we're all competent. So it's never going to sound like bad, but it really was not happening. And it just was not what it had been a couple days before. And we're backstage, and Jeff just goes, he's like, you know, guys, that's the nature of this. Sometimes it's just not good. And we're like, fair enough. I saw when you interviewed him, he was talking about our band. He was like, you know, that's one gig that'll never be a money gig. And I was like, fuck. I was both honored that he said that, and I was like, oh. Because, you know, it's great that he loves the music enough to just do it to do it. But it is the type of thing that's like, I don't do it because I think it's going to get us in a stadium. You know, and definitely we've had the chance to perform in that way in front of a lot of people, and it's always the best when that happens. But it is something that you just do for the love of the game. And it's one of those things that when it's on, when it's happening, and when everyone's flowing, it is just the best. There is nothing.
Can you think of an instance where you've been and you're like, it's not gonna get better than this. Like this is the best. And like, is there one that like really sticks out to you? A show that you've had like that?
There's been a few. I mean, I actually think that a lot of times the shows that I'm the most pissed off about are the ones that end up having really, really good moments. And I think that's just the nature of the beast. There's been a few that have been really, really enjoyable though.
Yeah.
Jeff and I
That
played.
stretch of time when I was just out of high school, where we were playing a lot, I felt like that was kind of the first one of those.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, the
stands out to
first
me as a
Foggy Mountain
hallmark,
Fest.
yeah.
Yeah, that was such a great gig. There's
Yeah.
definitely a few. With Jeff specifically, last year we did like a mini set headlining at Floyd Fest, the Buffalo Mountain Jam or whatever, and they brought me and Jeff and Isaac Haddon and Daniel.
That's Isaac
Combs.
Haddon's festival right there.
Yeah, it is. It's the Isaac Festival, but they hired us to do a miniature like fusion set, and that was there. We played Black Market by Weather Report, and that was really, really killing. The first show that I did with Jeff, the first one is a couple of years ago. That was one of those shows where it's just like, this is can't. We've had shows that have sounded better than that.
Yeah.
But it was the first time that we had ever tried. We hadn't rehearsed
Was
at
that the
all.
Summer Coven?
Yeah, I literally.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
That was like scary at certain points.
It was insanely good. Yeah, and it wasn't even anything that I was playing. I mean, we were all just crushing so hard. And I had flown in from Boston literally that morning or the day before. We hadn't rehearsed. I hadn't seen any of them in like 6 months. We show up. Me and Asher had ran from a gig with him with Rebecca Todd at Freight Yard in Spartanburg. We played that gig. Gig was kind of a mess. We were all like, it was fun. It was fun, but it was one of those gigs where there's like 600 people there, but none of them really care. And it's like, I remember I was like, fuck, this is not the best gig. We're just
Was that St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
Dude, the St. Patrick's Day at the Freight Yard it's like 900 people who just
Everyone's just hammered.
could care less if you're up there doing anything.
They just want to hear what's that one? Sweet.
Yeah.
Like, literally that would have gone over incredibly well. So we played this gig, and it was not that it was a bad gig, but we were just like, all right, okay, that could have been better. And I remember that gig, because of how many fucking people were there, it took us forever to pack out. We were running late. Me and Asher literally get to this gig like a full hour late. We're like a full hour late. Jeff's just sitting there. We're like, how have we let this happen? We set up and we kind of just start. We haven't even talked. We barely talked. We like show up and we set up and we just start playing. And then it was just like 2.5 hours of the best music that I've ever made.
And there's probably, 15 people there compared to the one you just came from?
There were actually maybe 50 people at that one.
There were a tenth of the people that were
Yeah,
at
a
the
tenth of the
previous
people that
one.
were at the other one. But there was enough people had come to that because it was the first show with that trio. But it wasn't a bunch of people. But I mean, you never
And
played
there's
for
that
the
other
people.
Asher. I
Asher
see his
Hill.
Asher Hill,
incredible bass player.
He plays bass. Okay.
Yeah, really, really great bass player.
And
Very, very good.
Quinn Sternberg's the one that's in the New Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay. But he does shows with Jeff. Okay, I thought I've seen that before.
Yeah, so the trio is myself, Asher Hill, and Jeff. Actually, it's now kind of a quartet. We've introduced this guy, Dave Easley, who is a pedal steel player. And he's one of the best pedal steel players of all time, if not the best pedal steel player of all time.
I feel like I've heard Ethan
I've
talk
been
about him.
a super fan of his since we were in high school. There's these records by Brian Blade, the incredible jazz drummer, called the Brian Blade Fellowship Band. And they have 2 records out. And Dave is on these records with Kurt Rosenwinkel. Joni Mitchell is on one of them. He also played in Bill Kreutzmann's band. He played in Peter Rowan's band. He's kind of played with everybody.
Dave Easley?
Dave Easley. He's fucking incredible. He's actually in Asheville for the summer now. I'll try and track him down. You should get him on the pod. I'd come on here with him. That'd be super fun.
Get Carson as a regular on the podcast. Bring all your cool friends.
But yeah, he's great. He's awesome. And he is moving to Asheville in the summers because the Louisiana heat is too much for him.
Is Ethan a big fan of that guy? Dave Easley? I feel like I've heard Ethan talk
Maybe,
about
I'm not sure.
I feel like Ethan has talked about
But
it.
anyway, I've been a huge fan since high school, and he's really well known among communities that really people that are really into that era of jazz, and people really know him, but he's not like a huge celebrity. And I showed up to this random gig. We both got called to sit in on the same gig in Asheville, and he's there. And everyone's like, who is this pedal steel player? I was like, holy shit, it's Dave Easley. and I kind of was like, hey man, I'm in the studio with Jeff Sipe like next week. Can you come into the studio? And he comes in and we track a record with him. And now he's in town now. We're doing our first show with him on July 11th at Sovereign Cava, which is going to be so much fun. I'm really excited. We've only recorded with him, but he's amazing. Literally one of the best pedal steel players of all time, and he's kind of in the quartet now. And then also with Jeff, we don't have a name for it. We kind of just call it the super band, but it's me, Rebecca Todd, Isaac Haddon, Daniel Combs, Asher on bass, and Jeff, and it's kind of just like a conglomerate of New Dawn and our band with him, just kind of playing insane shit.
For someone to like begin, because like I'm more on like the jam band, that's like kind of a lot of the music that I listen to, but I'm really interested in that like jazz improv that like you guys are talking about, and like what I've talked about with Zach and Ethan. But it's one of those things like I don't know where to start. Where would you like recommend someone to kind of start to dip their toes into that kind of thing?
Mahavishnu Orchestra, they're great. I mean, that's like a kind of it's kind of a lot, but it's great. Weather Report.
Yeah.
A lot of people really like Weather Report. Something that's a little bit closer to the jam band world is Jeff Sipe had a trio with Sean Lane and Jonas Hellborg. That shit is fucking unbelievable. Zappa, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, who would you be thinking?
I was thinking more like, I don't know, that's a tough one. Like, Kind of Blue by Miles Davis.
Okay.
If you don't like that record, you probably don't like jazz.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good...
Yeah, I've listened. I might even
borderline.
have that one on vinyl.
Yeah.
That's like one I know, but I'm thinking more like the kind of like super out there experimental stuff. Like
Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu Orchestra is the shit.
Okay.
Check out like Intermounting Flame. Actually, Jeff is on the last Mahavishnu record. It's called Live in San Francisco 2018. It's with Jimmy Herring and John McLaughlin.
What's the violin player, Jean-Luc Ponty?
Jean-Luc
What's
Ponty.
the green album with the man, like, his head is becoming light?
I should know that. Yeah.
It's not Enigmatic Ocean.
I don't know.
I'm gonna message you after this and
Yes,
get you to send me
there's
some
so
of
much
those
good music.
things.
I mean, some of my guys that are, and this strays a little bit from like the really abstract. I mean, but Bitches Brew also.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've listened, I mean, that's kind of hard to listen
Tribute to Jack Johnson.
Tribute
That's
to
a
Jack
good one.
Johnson. These are all Miles Davis records.
Okay.
And that shit is.
Yeah, I
fucking
feel like
cool.
I've listened to quite a bit of Miles Davis and like John Coltrane. And it's like it kind of just ends there for me. Like I just don't know. And then I just end up putting Billy Strings on.
It's also like the thing that I like to do is to find a record I like and then, oh, that's a really good piano solo. Who played piano on it? Either go find another record he's on or one of his records and just follow the trail through
Chick
the forest.
Corea, actually. The Romantic Warrior.
Yes.
That might be the first one I'd recommend listening
The
to.
Romantic Warrior.
The Romantic Warrior, Chick Corea.
That's like, do you like the band Yes?
Yes, I mean, fuck, Yes is great too.
Romantic what? Sorry.
Romantic Warrior, the Romantic Warrior, Chick Corea. I mean, there's a giant Chick Corea hole that you could go down. Light as a Feather, one of the best records of all time.
Who would you say, like, growing up with, like, you mentioned your mom, like, the West African, and then I saw some stuff on your Instagram of you doing, like, some, like, Indian classical music improv, too. Do you feel like one of these, like, niche subgenres or genres has kind of influenced you more than the other? Or do you think it all kind of stems from a bit of everything?
That's really hard to say. So with the Indian stuff, I have a band called Lotus Feet. It's myself, Jesse Blueweeds on bass. He's also an amazing banjo player. Dylan Such on tap dance, and he plays like the tabla parts. And it's Sam Stage on violin. He's an amazing violin player. He plays with Tony Trishka. He's just recently been on the road with Ricky Skaggs. Really fantastic. And that band is a tribute to Shakti, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. It's John McLaughlin project. I would check out the record Natural Elements by Shakti. I mean, it's some of the best music ever written. So that's where the Indian classical stuff comes from. Recently, actually, I have been like blessed with the opportunity to start playing in a band with V. Salvaganesh, who is the percussionist for the band Shakti. And that has just been, I can't even describe how amazing that is, because those guys have been my heroes for a long time. I saw them on their last tour in 2023. I mean, it was the first show that I was like, tears were in my eyes. It was just the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And now to actually get to play with him is just kind of
Surreal.
It's surreal. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And We're supposed to. There's been talks of recording sometime soon in September. I'm playing a show with him in New York, and it's a show that's kind of like a co-bill, but it's like back to back. It's kind of like the same band with El Shankar, who is the founding violinist in Shakti. He's like the best violin player of all time, and he's like famously a recluse. He doesn't really come to the States anymore, so to get to a chance to be on the same like show as him is unbelievable. I mean, I'm like beyond excited for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
So that music is like very influential. In terms of that music, has been a huge influence more recently. In terms of what comes out in my sound more, it might be the West African music, because I've just been around it so much. I studied it for so long. It's like I've had all these famous West African musicians like living in my house.
Yeah.
So kind of just learning from them literally when I'm like 5 years old.
It also like it tracks onto a lot of like modern progressive jazz music well.
Yeah, the West African
all
stuff.
all those rhythms evolved from that. So then to just take where it came from and kind of, put it back
Like
into what
reinsert it,
exists
yeah.
now.
I mean, guys
It
like
fits weirdly well.
Lionel Luque, who is the guitarist for Herbie Hancock right now. He is from Benin. He's a West African guitarist.
Yeah.
Incredible. And that style is really working its way back into jazz. And like you said, it's
There's like a lot of different counts in that kind of music, right?
Yeah.
It's what's crazy about it is that they don't really count it in the way that we think about counting.
Yeah.
It's kind of just is. It's very polyrhythmic.
It's like rhythm as melody almost. Or
Yes.
rhythm as harmony, I should say.
It's not there. It's when you have a Guinean ballet, which is the collection of like 20 musicians on stage, and they're all playing this traditional music. You'll have 3 different people on the dunduns, which is like the standing drums. You have like the songband, which is the middle-sized one. The dundun is the largest one, and the kinkini is the smallest one. And they're all playing a part on that, and they each have a bell. And all those 3 parts are interlocking with each other in like a polyrhythmic way. And then the bell part is interlocking with all 3 bell parts, but with the part that each musician is playing themselves, but also with all 3 parts.
Yeah.
And then you have the djembe players, and there's like 5 of them, and they're all playing a part that is slightly different, interlocking in a different way. And then you have the balafon, which is like the mallet instrument, and it's playing a melody that is also like a different but they're not thinking about it like that. But it's one of the most advanced, like incredible system of like rhythmic overlap that has ever been conceived. It's not nearly as codified or as it's not necessarily pedagogical in the same way that Indian classical music it is. That is the most codified system of percussion in the world, for sure. But West African music is extremely complex, and it's unbelievably, it's so beautiful. And it's so influential on jazz, especially with like Afro-Cuban is such a big thing, especially in early fusion. It's such a big sound. You hear that all the time. Like the signature like 6/8 groove that like Jeff is great at, like that is just pretty much like straight over from that. Like,
all of the early swing rhythms come from blues, which comes from slave song, which comes from West African music. So it's like a lot of those rhythms kind of pop up and mutate over time.
The history behind like music is always like so fascinating to me. Like I interviewed this one guy, totally forgot. Vince Herman from Leftover Salmon.
I play with Leftover sometimes.
Yeah.
Vince is great.
That's sick. They're awesome. But he was telling me the story that like the Spanish people that came to Hawaii like brought the guitars, and that's like where like the Hawaiian music came from. And it's just like simple things like that. They're just always fascinating to me to learn. There was one thing that caught my eye on your Instagram, Miles.
I don't know.
You had wrote a song after you found out that eels only reproduce one time.
Yeah.
Can you kind of give me, because I read it and I was like, what is he talking about here?
Yeah. Feel free to cut this if this is uncouth. I had gotten into some hash and kind of overdone myself.
That happens.
And I was just sitting in the bedroom with the acoustic guitar with the lights dimmed. And I just sort of play that.
That thought, you had that thought about the eels? Okay.
Yeah, I had read that earlier in the day and I was like kind of hung up on. I'm like, dude, that's so sad. is that they have to travel all the way to the Bermuda Triangle to have sex one time.
Why do they have to go to the Bermuda Triangle?
We don't know.
Nobody
we
in the
don't
world
know
knows.
how eels reproduce
No.
until like the last year.
And
yeah.
Sigmund Freud, man, I think it was Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud cut open like 25,000 eels in a year trying to find their reproductive organs.
He couldn't find,
And he couldn't find them.
Modern science did not know how eels reproduced until like the last year.
No, that's
and
like
they still
it's a
are not
new
totally
thing.
sure. Yeah, it's insane. And they just swim to the Bermuda Triangle like fuck once and then die. Like
Oh, so they die? I thought it was.
I actually don't know. That might not. I feel like they probably do if they've gone that far, but I don't know.
I'm not sure if I don't know, but they go down into this like deep trench, and then more eels come out there than came in.
Yeah, it's insane.
What?
Yeah, and it's every eel on the planet, and they're all over everywhere.
It's not every eel.
It is.
not freshwater eels.
I mean, yeah, well, every saltwater eel, like from
Goes
China
to the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah,
Of this like
from
specific
all
species.
China,
yeah.
England, everything.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Really?
But then I'm sitting there and I just like play this completely weird, like arrhythmic descending thing just over and over and over again. And I'm like, I should record that and post that on Instagram. And I have not found a drummer that's been able to learn it yet. Like
You
I've
need to
written
listen
out
to
this
it again
chart
now.
for it, and it's like the count is inconceivable to
It's just
percussionists.
completely autistic nonsense.
Yeah, that's dude.
That is crazy about the eels only produce one. That's crazy.
Yeah,
And you never saw
It
them.
is. I think it's a specific species.
yeah, probably. But I know they
Yeah.
come from all over the world.
Yeah, I don't think it's like every species, but it definitely
It's
there's a
also
certain
so
type of
funny
eel.
is the Bermuda Triangle. Like
Yeah.
this place that we're already so
especially
like don't
on
know
our-
that much about, and it's like, oh, here's this.
What
dude.
are they doing down
Yeah.
there, dude?
That's awesome. Well, guys, we're at 45 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Is there anything? I think that's most of my questions. Is there anything that you guys wanted to plug before we wrapped up or anything? Any dates or shows coming?
Yeah, well, I got a few dates. One, like I said, July 11th.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a killer show. Sovereign Kava.
That's a Saturday, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
July 14th in Greenville, same band. July 16th, that's going to be the super band with Daniel Combs and Isaac Haddon, all Jeff, and that's going to be at the Flatiron in Greensboro. The one to really come to, August 23rd, it's going to be the quartet with Dave Easley and Jeff and Asher. This guy, Lauren Benedict, who is this insane scat singer
He's
from
the
San
coolest.
Francisco.
Yeah.
He
He
invented
is
his
the
own language of
coolest.
these things and plays with the guys like Lewis Cole from Nowhere, Steve Coleman, like all these super cool guys. He's
It's like
flying
you've
in-
never heard anything
it's
like this
completely
before.
insane.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's so
sick.
cool.
It's so sick. But he's flying in from San Francisco. He's gonna be playing with us. That's gonna be at One World West. That's gonna be a super fun show. It's on a Sunday, which is kind of odd, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah, and I guess I had one more thing that I was gonna say. We were kind of talking about big influences, and he was saying people like Train and Zappa. For me, my three guys are Brad Meldau, Julian Lage, and John McLaughlin. Those are
Okay.
those are the guys.
Those are the best guys.
Those are the best guys.
I'm gonna look into those
If you
guys.
Julian Lage, best guitar player of all time,
Probably.
probably
Yeah.
unfucking
Probably.
believable. It's not even. I mean, it does not even make sense how good he is. And then Brad Meldau is among the best pianists and composers of all time. His album Finding Gabriel, in high school we would, I mean, it was insane. We would just like pop a tab of acid and just like bump that album on repeat.
Yeah.
Like
Literally,
every weekend.
Every
for
weekend.
months, man.
It got to the point where it was like, I want to like do psychedelics just to listen to this album. Like not even to do this. Just
That's
it makes
always-
sense. Just not even because I wanted to like be on mushrooms or anything. It's just, I just want to hear this album on mushrooms.
It's so good.
It's
That's
so
what, like-
good. It's like retarded how good it is. Like,
I always think I'm like, once you get really good at music, like then you do psychedelics and play music. It's got to be like the most fun thing ever. Just,
oh
like,
yeah, it's
yeah.
great. I mean,
I'm a neurotic person. So like if I'm playing on stage, it becomes too much, but just like
In your room by yourself,
it
it's
is
gotta be
literally,
awesome.
it's
Yeah.
literally the greatest thing of all time. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. But yeah, Brad Meldau, he's like my hero. I love. It's like
Yeah.
he knows that all of my friends will make fun of me for mentioning him on the pod because of how much I talk about him. It's borderline an obsession.
I'm gonna make a great video where it's just every time he says Brad Meldau, just like really fast back to back.
Yeah, it's just it'll be like, guys, this guy is
3-minute clip in
the
a 50-minute
biggest
interview.
the biggest Brad Melville dick writer of all time.
He is. That's true.
Do you have a lot of shows coming up? Are you playing a lot of gigs too?
Man, I'm around Hoto_music on Instagram, HOTO_music.
Okay.
They're great. Killing.
And it's all my original stuff. And we got a small tour announcement coming out first 2 weeks of
and
August.
he'll be sitting in with me maybe on the 11th, and definitely
One of those
shows
around.
he'll be there,
Okay.
probably playing with us.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
It'll be a real underground announcement on my Instagram story.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, yeah, we've been playing together forever. We've been super tight for a really, really long time. Been writing together for a long time. So
Yeah.
it's always. And like I said, I've lived in Boston for the last 3 years. So now that whenever I'm back, we try
So
to
are
play
you done
as
at Berkeley? Or you
No, I have
still-
one more year,
Okay.
and then I've honestly been breaking. I honestly don't really exist in the jam band world much anymore. Like obviously seeing Bob Weir with the orchestra was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But I've kind of moved away from that. It's not really music that I play anymore as much reverence as I have for it. So I'm kind of more in the jazz world now. Like the closest thing. The most non-jazz thing that I'm doing is the stuff with Jeff, and like I said, it's more like free music. I wouldn't classify it as anything other than just free improv.
Are you the only person playing a banjo in the jazz scene right now?
There's a few people.
Okay.
There's a few people. Bela, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, Bela's the GOAT, undisputed GOAT forever. He's the best. I love him. I'm actually probably playing with him in August in Brevard. He's amazing. Love him so much. There's a few guys. There's this guy Adam Larrabee, who is a jazz guitar player, but he's kind of come over to banjo, and he's quite good. There's a guy, Matt Menifee, who plays with Mumford & Sons, but he's actually a monster banjo player.
I think I've heard
O'Teal
that.
just put out that banjo album.
Yeah, O'Teal, man.
O'Teal's banjo
O'Teal
album?
is funny.
Really?
O'Teal literally randomly the other day, I met him at Berkeley. We jammed. He had this class with him and Victor Wooten, and I met him. I was like, I play with Jeff, and he's like, oh, I've seen a video with you with Jeff, and I was like, that's awesome. And he was like, I want you to learn these banjo parts, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think anything of it because I was like, he's probably never going to send these. And a couple weeks ago, I wake up at 7 a.m. and O'Teal has texted me, and he's like, hey man, can you learn these banjo parts? And it's just like these voice notes that he sent on his phone of these random banjo parts off of his new album, and they're actually really good. And he's like, I don't really know how to play banjo. I think you could make these a lot better. And I was like, they're actually already really good. So I'm under enormous pressure to make them better because I'm like, O'Teal is such a monster that they're already really sick. So I'm like, fuck, I have to. He's like, you could extrapolate on this, make these better. I'm like, god damn, but. So there's been talks of me maybe playing some banjo with him on a show. I don't know if it's going to happen. Maybe when he comes through in Asheville. He said it in person, but I need to call and talk to him about it. So there's a small chance that I'll be up there with him in Asheville when he's, I think, at French Broad.
You can bring him on the podcast too.
That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, he is coming to
French Broad on August 2nd, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be really great.
Cool.
But
Man.
yeah, like I said, most of the stuff that I'm playing these days actually exists more. I use the word jazz hesitantly because that can mean so many different things. But I'm definitely kind of studying in that space. Growing up, I studied with Mike Stern, who's Miles Davis's guitar player.
Okay.
He's super influential. Guys like David Fuzinski, another very influential player on me. Fusion guy, teaches at Berkeley, and then I'm thinking about moving to New York to study and kind of just play more.
Where would the mecca be for the music that you want to play?
Unfortunately, it's in New York. I'd love for it to be here because I love the nature so much and I love the people.
And here is a mecca for
something
adjacent.
Yeah, something adjacent. But just in terms of and again, I think I was saying this earlier. I think that the only level that anyone needs to aspire to is the level that allows them to say what they have to say. And unfortunately for me, I listen to people like Julian Lodge and I'm like, fuck, I want to be able to play like that. So my personal study, God, I keep getting these alarms. My personal endeavor is to be able to play at that highest level for no one other than myself. It's just what I want to be able to do. And to kind of be able to do that, I think you'd have to, the full immersion is the only way to do it. And even in Boston, I'm like, man, I wish this was in New York just because that's where all the players are. But I've gotten to play with some really cool people. I did a show with Gary Novak, who's like Chick Corea's drummer, Alan Holzer's drummer, and that was amazing. And then I just got to play a show with Kenwood Denard, who's this incredible drummer, played with Jocko and Maceo Parker, and Matt Garrison, who's my favorite bass player. And these are all New York guys, and playing with them. And I'm in talks to put together a band with one of the guys that actually is in Brad Meldow's band. And just like there's a lot of people in New York that I'm talked about playing with. I go down there, and it's crazy because like whenever I'm around at a festival with Isaac, it's like Isaac is the guy that get recognized all the time, like constantly, because he's so big in that scene. And it's like whenever I
he also has the most recognizable hair possible.
Yeah, of all time.
He's a hard guy to lose track of.
He's the hard guy to lose track of, exactly. But it's like I find that the people that are following what I do, there's a lot of them that are in the jam band world. But it's a lot of those guys are like, it's more the New York people, I think, that are interested, like that's the type of scene that are interested in the music that I want to make.
I also feel like everything's like sort of hyper genrefied now.
Yeah, the idea of genre as a concept is ridiculous. The only thing it's useful is like describing what you do, but at this point, it's like, what even point is there?
And it's inherently constrictive because like, you know, before about 1875, the only point of genre was to describe the difference between secular and religious music. And then, you know, into the 1900s, it was just to differentiate black and white radio music.
Yeah, and that's like a thing, because like I started this podcast, it was like I need to have my niche, and it was like jam band, and as I've done this more and more, it's like I almost desire to have less of those conversations, because like I don't need someone to tell me that their older brother gave them the Pink Floyd record, and then they went to Fish when they were 17, and now they're in a jam band. Like, so like having these conversations are like where I'm learning musician stuff is way more interesting to me. So I totally agree with you on that. It's like like saturated in what it's called rather than what
And
it
I think
is.
that you find within even like with every scene, and including the jam band scene, there are people that are just world class musicians. People like Jeff Syke.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, he's famous because he played with Phil Lesh in the Ukraine Rescue Unit, which I love that, and you know, like Warren Haynes and all those guys. That's why he's famous. But also, he has records with John McLaughlin, and he has records with Matthew Garrison. And
from my conversation,
guys.
it sounds like he considers himself a jazz musician first.
Yeah. He won't play Grateful Dead. He won't do it. You cannot get him to do it. He will not do it. He literally
You can't get away from it. Like once you like, because the way jazz is taught now is less so. I mean, you can still be taught like the vernacular. You get taught the licks. You get taught the tradition. But a lot more jazz education has become how to think about improvising and how to approach improvising.
It's the freedom.
So then, in any situation in which you improvise, you hold with you the fact that you're a jazz musician, I think.
And like I said, I like the music that I play, even when I'm playing with guys that are jazz musicians, I don't even necessarily classify it as jazz. It's just like, it's just studying that way, and it's just the freedom that comes with being able to improvise in that way is just, it's so liberating, and it's hard to get, like you said, it's hard to get away from. And like he started as a jazz bass player, and now what he does is like indistinguishable from that, but it's rooted in. That's what it's rooted in. And the same for me.
It doesn't ever go away.
It just can't go away. But people like Warren Haynes, like he's like a huge John McLaughlin fan. I mean, there's all these guys like Jimmy Herring. Like all of the best guys.
Your favorite jam band guitar player.
Yeah.
His favorite guitarist is John McLaughlin.
Yeah. Literally.
No, there's a lot of truth to that. Or his teacher. You know, there's a lot of like
and there's
Carlos Santana and John McLaughlin.
More and more, there's so much overlap between like the style of highly improvised music that came from Miles Davis. Because at the same time that the Grateful Dead was getting popular, Bitches Brew was coming out. Tribute to Jack Johnson was coming out. And A Silent Way was coming out. And then out of that, Weather Report with Joe Zawinul from Miles Davis's band, Mahavishnu Orchestra, John McLaughlin from Miles Davis's band. I mean, Herbie Hancock, Headhunters.
Pete Cozy went on to play with Howlin' Wolf, and like informed a lot of what Hendrix would go on to do.
I mean, all of this shit that is like jam band adjacent is coming from Miles Davis. He at the end of the day, he is kind of the king, and even into the '90s. We were just talking about this. We were listening to Miles Davis's last record ever. It was like a live compilation that came out a few years ago from '91, right before he died. And it's 25-minute long jams, you know. And there's all of this. They definitely coexist, and I think that's just kind of coming together more and more. People like Kevin Scott, who plays with. He's with Kevin Scott, who is with Government Mule now, plays with Marcus King a lot, played with Bruce a lot, has played with all. He also has played with John McLaughlin. He played with Wayne Krantz. He's in this band called Fork right now with some of the guys from Snarky Puppy. And like that's like, and it's this like combination of this music. When I was at Big Ears, the festival in Knoxville, there was a band with oh my God, Nels Klein, the guitar player for us. What band is he in now?
I don't know.
Something Co. or Wilco.
Wilco?
Yeah, he's a great, but he plays with Julian Lodge a lot. He did
Was he always in Wilco?
for the last like 20 years, but he has a band. He was doing a band there that was What If Bitches Brew met the Grateful Dead, and they were doing like Dark Star, but it sounded like Bitches Brew. It was sick as fuck. It was so cool.
Yeah,
it was
that does
so
sound
cool.
cool.
And there's this kind of like
What's
melody.
that called?
I cannot remember. I could find it, but
That sounds brain paralyzing.
it was insane. It was like this Japanese saxophone player was just standing there just screaming Coltrane lines, but it's just Dark Star. Like, what even is happening? I mean, and more you see stuff like that, like with bands like from LA, like Knower with Lewis Cole, like those guys coming in, and they did a set with Sam Amadon, who's one of my favorite folk musicians of all time, and they're doing like weird electronica jam versions of all these folk tunes, and it's insanely cool. But because it's these super high level musicians, like Free Improv is really making a comeback. Nate Smith, the drummer, was there with Tim LaFave, who is like David Bowie's bass player, and they did like a Free Improv set. So I mean, it's
the Marcus Gilmore band with the two guitar players and the saxophone. With the synth
I mean,
pedal.
I mean, even
that's
Marcus
insane.
King, Blue Note residency.
With Mono Neon?
With Mono Neon and Chris Daves. Like
That
there's
was
there's
nuts.
this kind of like crossover that's happening that's really, really interesting.
I think and it's like an evolutionary requirement of what has happened to the music industry. Like it's become less about here's jazz and here's blues and here's rock music and here's folk music and here's all sort of coexisting. It's kind of become the lion's share of the money in the audiences is going to pop music. Mm-hmm. Like, top 40, ultra produced, highest level of pop music.
Yeah.
And then there's everything else. And so you kind of, like get along at the watering hole type deal,
Yeah.
And that has been sort of breeding ground for collaboration.
There's a lot of really cool stuff happening right now.
Nice. Yeah, man, you guys know a lot. I feel like I learned a lot, so I'm glad we were
thanks,
able to set this up, and I'm glad you brought Miles. 2 Miles. Before we wrap up, though, we did some of your plugs, but repeat the name that yours is under.
Hoto_music, HOTO_music.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming on. I'm glad we got to do this in person
Yeah,
before
of
you
course. Yeah,
take
this is
off to
awesome.
New York or Boston, wherever you end up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just all over the place, but I'm glad we could be here.
You just got jammed.
Welcome back, everybody, from that interview with Miles
I have.
and Carson. Let me finish.
I'm so sorry. Miles and Carson, we appreciate you greatly. I have probably the world's most annoying song stuck in my head. I want you back. Jackson 5, so it's really high pitch. It's a problem.
Yeah, it is. You keep singing it, too.
Very good, might I add.
Very high pitched. That's probably why the dog's freaking out.
That's how the boys were doing it back then. What was like the child labor laws back then that allowed like a 5-year-old Michael Jackson to be touring?
I don't think their dad was very good to them. I think
Really?
that's kind of the whole thing, yeah.
Oh man. Do you like use them for their money?
I would assume,
For their money and talent?
I would assume that they're not giving the kids the money.
Ugh,
But I wasn't there, I don't know.
what a
You have
heartbreak.
to ask Mr. Joe,
Joe,
the
that's his
father.
name?
Yeah,
Joe Jackson?
Joe Jackson.
Wow. Ain't that something? I've kind of been in on Michael Jackson lately.
I feel like there's a lot of Michael Jackson discourse lately about like his music and the allegations, and I would just say let the guy rest, leave it alone. If you're gonna listen to his music, listen to his music, leave it alone.
I think his music is incredible, yeah. I don't know what birthday it was, but on my birthday one year I got the Bad CD, and then he died the next day.
2005.
2005, because he died on Brandon's birthday. Brandon killed Michael Jackson.
Well, you
Very
killed
different.
Toby Keith, so
Yeah. Accidentally.
well,
Yeah, that is my fault. I'm sorry to take a treasure away from America.
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? This week we kind of went to music again finally.
We did. Just one show, right?
No, so Thursday we went to the Thunder Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like the mashup, the new, I think it's Fee Fi Fo Fish's replacement. Because it's Thursday. Fee Fi Fo
Yeah,
Fish
I think
hasn't been
Fee Fi
doing
Fo
anything.
Fish is looking for a different residency, a different day of the week, but that project is replacing the same time slot at One World, yeah.
And it's two guys from Strictly Liquid.
Joey and JC.
And then it's Alex and Hannah.
Yep.
And they're kind of just playing whatever they feel like.
Yeah, they did some original. They did some like Alex Baseman originals and made them more like rocky, I guess.
Yeah, it was a super fun night. Also, everyone had like just gotten back from Toe Down, and everyone wanted to come in and like share their stories and be all excited.
We made some new friends.
I do love a post-festival buzz. There's always
Yeah.
like, mostly when you're the one that has gone to the festival, when you have a little bit of FOMO and everyone comes back buzzing, so you're like, all right, guys. But I love the hype post-festival.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, we're starting a new
New
one
leaf.
a new one word. We're starting anew.
Anew.
Yes.
I know that from my crossword puzzles.
Exactly. I've been doing the New York Times ones at work.
Those ones are like too cute, I feel like.
Not for me. They have been very hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like the clues are too cute. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like one of them was 40 and then blank. It was Niners. Why would you do that? I'm guessing every other number.
Yeah, it's a weird because then they'll be like you have to get like 4 of the things and then it'll like circle them. Like I don't like doing the crosswords on my phone either. I like to be physically doing it.
I did try to print some out, but they weren't formatting correctly.
Just buy the book from Ingalls
Why
or
no?
somewhere.
Why, yeah, I need to. I was also trying to teach myself Sudoku.
You don't know how to play that?
Well, I know the method. I know the point, but I
They
don't
can
know
be
how
hard
to be...
sometimes.
Yeah, there's like 18 boxes.
There's 9.
What do you mean?
There's 9 boxes.
It feels like so many more.
There's 9 boxes with 9 boxes in it.
Yeah. 9 box. So guess what that is? 18. 9 plus 9.
Okay. Quick maths. Brief interruption before we head into Chloe's corner with all our topics. Little World Cup talk. We have to talk about the World Cup.
Okay.
We've been missing some music and probably haven't been listening to as much music lately because I've been so invested in the World Cup. Today, Monday, big game. Belgium and USA and Portugal and Spain. England and Mexico is about to play now. Chloe doesn't even care. She's from England.
So it's been fun, but it has occupied our TV every single day for a month. And
It happens once every 4 years.
And that is why
it's
I
the
have-
greatest sporting event on the
And
history
that
of
is
the world.
why I will not say, no, I don't want to go, no, we can't put it on, because I know soccer is your love, and I know it happens every 4 years. So that's why I haven't said anything. But it has occupied our TV.
But
I've
you're
been wanting to
learning
watch
so
Mamma
much.
Mia for weeks. I'll get there eventually.
So that's talking soccer with
So
Clint.
that's the FIFA talk. England is about to play Mexico. We thought about going to Papa's and beer.
It would be cool. That'd be the place to do it.
And I'll just put on a thick accent. I'll
Mexican
paint my
accent?
face.
Mexican accent?
No, British. I'll paint my face. I'll have the flag on me. I'll wear the Arsenal scarf. Oh, we had to chase a dog in the middle of traffic the other day. A big old Great Pyrenees. Clint's feet got all bloodied and blistered.
We saved him though.
We saved him. We saved him and we reunited him. Chi-Chi is home. But it was really sad. Let's get to Chloe's corner, right?
We're really sidetracking here.
I'm not even high. So let's start with the king. Billy is back on tour.
He released a new song. Was
Released?
that song out yet?
Yes.
Last week when we did this?
No. Nope. So released a new song, Burn the Other End. Very like heavy and yeah, kind
It
of.
sounds like the guy Paul from. When I listened to that song, I was like, "This sounds like something." I watched that documentary on, what was it on? I don't know what it was on, but it was the Green Sky Bluegrass documentary.
Yeah.
And like they like showed the process of him writing a song and stuff, and it just sounded like a song that he would write. And then I remember saying that, and then like reading the Spotify thing later, a couple days later, and it was like, oh, he did contribute to writing it.
Yeah.
That song is gonna get dark when he
Yeah,
plays it live.
I really like the sound of that. I'm so excited for this album. I mean, he's hyping up that it's his best album yet. He put out a beautiful statement along with it about his mom and like the time that he was going through writing this album, and I am just super fucking stoked.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that he's back. He's meaning business.
Also, there's a couple of songs that he's been doing that aren't on the album. Because I looked at the track list. What was there? 10,000? Oh, Broken Dough or whatever?
Yeah, he did that.
That one's not on the album, though.
I think that was... Didn't he say that was like a poem he had written or something and he made it into a song?
You still would think it would be on the album, though, if you're releasing an album.
Yeah.
But I was just surprised to not see it.
Yeah.
And there's a song called I Like Train Songs, which is funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wonder if Billy rides trains, do you think?
He
Oh,
probably
Billy's
rides,
been on a train.
he rides PJs.
Do you think he's at PJ level?
Billy, you at PJ level? I don't know if he's that.
I could see that you maybe have spent your time on a train or two. There was probably a
I'm
period
sure he's-
where
yeah, I'm sure
trains
he's
were
been on a
around
train.
you.
But I don't know what the
PJs
train. I don't know what the train culture is like in Michigan. But the guys in Magoo said they had trains in Colorado, so who knows?
They got trains all over.
Who knows? And when does that album come out?
I
Like
don't
right
know
around
that.
Freak Fair, I think. I think it comes around right around Freak Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that written down. I don't know then. Jam Cruise has released their
Fire
lineup for when is this?
It's like
It's
February
like-
4th through 10th.
I did think it was like pretty soon. So yeah, February. Jam Cruise is something we have got to get on. Probably
Yeah.
also not this one because it's expensive, but Mo, Lettuce, Daniel Donato, Pigeons, Andy Frasco, Kitchen Dwellers, Dumpster Funk, Dogs in a Pile. It is
George
stacked
Porter,
with
Lamp, Special, Karina Reichman, Dirtwire, Shadowgrass, Jam Buffet, Swerve,
Kings.
DJ Brownie,
Vincent Antone,
Holly Bowling. Literally like everybody's on there.
Sarah. I don't know how to say her name. Is that the bassist? Sarah Elaz Bottom.
Oh yeah, she's the bassist from
Bassist from
Barely
Dead.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so that's going to be...
Reed Mathis is there.
So
Kanika Moore,
sick.
Mahali.
Mahali is who?
He's the guy from Twiddle.
Okay.
He opened up for Andy Frasco and we saw him at the Orange Peel.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that name is too familiar, but I don't know anything of him.
He's got some good stuff though.
So yeah, that is going to be just absolutely sick. I also like everyone I hear from about that goes on Jam Cruise. They're like, it is the coolest hangout experience. You're just like seeing crossovers all over the place.
It's kind of like it's almost like a daunting. The idea of it is like daunting though.
I get what you mean.
Because like you're already doing so much on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise. We're going on one in September, but I've never been on a cruise. But I imagine like you're always trying to do something. It's like I guess you're just there for music though. You're not going to be. But even like there's
Yeah.
still excursions and stuff.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I guess the music's all in the afternoon.
I think they go to like 3 a.m.
They go to like later.
I don't think
than
there's a lot
3.
of sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah, because then once like the actual shows end, then everyone's just mixing and
Jamming,
mashing.
yeah.
So I can get what you mean. They're pretty overwhelming, and then like the battle of what do I see, what do I do, and honestly, a lot of the days, I probably just want to lay.
Yeah.
I want to
I
be
guess
able to
that's what
relax.
all day is for those chilling.
Yeah. Like, what else are you gonna do when you're out at sea? And I don't think it's like a cruise ship that has maybe a lot going on it.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to my buddy. He said that I was making a joke, and I was like, "There better be a casino on it." And he's like, "There is." So if they have a casino, they probably have like all the normal trivia or normal cruise amenities. I don't know where trivia came from.
Like, you only want trivia.
I do like trivia.
I wonder if they got big slides. I want like a fun big cruise slide, but I don't want it to go over the edge.
Over the edge of what?
The boat.
Yeah, why would they do that?
They do that.
Maybe when you're like,
They put the slide over the edge. And then they make it glass, and so you can see the water underneath you.
I don't know about that.
Look at pictures. Look at cruise slide.
There's a slide that goes off the edge of the boat?
It's a donut slide. It's a
Oh, a tube.
yeah.
Okay.
Donut slide.
That makes, I mean, there's a whole, it's not like, that's not a terrible way to say it.
Well, thank you.
Songs of the week?
No.
You did have one.
Well, yeah, I have one. I'm
Oh,
not done.
Okay. Sorry.
Something that I did come across and have been coming across a lot lately is a lot of Primus.
Like Les Claypool or Primus?
Primus. What's the difference? Is Les Claypool's in Primus?
Yeah, but that's like saying I've been seeing a lot of Jimmy Law.
Yeah,
Jimmy
but
Law are dogs in a pile.
why would I ever call it Les Claypool when I'm... Why would I call it Jimmy Law?
Well, that's what I was asking. Like, are you seeing a lot of Primus or just like Les
Primus-
Claypool playing with people?
Primus as a band.
Okay. To what capacity?
Talk on Reddit.
Oh.
Chat shit. You
Get
know?
banged. What are they saying?
I will say, so they've just been like posting clips and things like that. But Primus is a band that after our first Halloween, I kind of X'd out everything that had anything to do with Les Claypool.
Which is weird because you like bass.
I love the bass.
Yeah.
But I think between like the environment we were in, late at night, what we were on, and then
Island Life.
this like energy, it felt energy sucking over there. Was it?
Energy sucking.
It was Les Claypool and the Flying Frog Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I do think you put that into my head though.
I
is
mean,
that
he is like
that
generally spooky.
He gets dark and stormy, and a lot of times I don't like dark and stormy. So I think I'd written it off for a really long time, but then I heard them play the song American Love and from their Charleston show last month.
Mm-hmm.
And the jam in it was super funky and super psychedelic and just really fun. And so I think I got to open the door to Primus because bass is my favorite instrument. I love it. And he scares me.
He's like, it doesn't even sound like he's playing a bass. Like, we just watched, I had Carson Moore. He plays a banjo, doesn't even sound like a banjo.
Yeah.
Les Claypool like plays a bass that at times doesn't. It's like he can play like lead guitar with a bass. Mm-hmm. It's crazy the things he can do.
Yeah.
And it's not always. I mean, my first iteration of seeing him was Oysterhead, which like.
Yeah.
I think I've told the story of the guy on the podcast already, but
I need to stop letting other people's words dictate how I see a band, because the same thing happened when we were waiting on
Tipper.
There was something there, but anyway.
Well, the fans for Tipper are pretty intense.
The fans for Tipper, Sir Dave, I love your music. Please come back. But yeah, the amount of like shoulders I got into my chest and like look backs at me as if I was the one that did something wrong. And I'll let you go past. I'm gonna let you in. But oh my God, I was getting stepped on. I was getting elbowed. They were just trying to like move me away.
I mean, I think though, like Tipper's like, if Tipper's your thing, like, because the Tipper and Friends, the experience wasn't really like that. But at a big festival, there's all these people who are coming to see your thing, and they're like in your way. Probably be frustrating. Like,
Yeah, but like,
I mean, I wouldn't handle myself like that, but I could.
yeah, imagine.
Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Also, get there sooner. If that's your thing, get there earlier. Get
Some
your
of
spot.
them people. There was a lady there like at 4:00. I remember. She had,
Exactly. Billy got people camping out night before.
Yeah.
For the first 100. So just get there a little earlier. Don't bump into me. Last thing I want to mention, I have been having a bit of like a throwback, sentimental
Nostalgic?
Yes, that's the word. Vibe to my music recently. So I was going down a bit of a Weezer rabbit hole. They've kind of always been one of my favorite bands. And I was listening. They have a new album coming out this year. I don't know when again. I don't write that stuff down. But they have 2 new songs out from this album. One of them is We Might As Well Be Strangers. And it features a Asheville band called Wednesday.
On a Wednesday?
On a Wednesday. And my friend Brad that I work with in the recent months, when me and him gets talking music, he will always bring up Wednesday.
Yeah, you told him to me the other day, and I was like, I've never heard of him. And then I put him on, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely. We play them at work all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was sick.
It is cool. There's a few, there's MJ Linderman, there's that band. That's just off the top of my head, 2 pretty big bands from this area.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fun to hear a different style of music come out of this area, too. It's like alt rock. It's really nice. I think the lead singer has a really nice voice. The band seems sick.
There's this Instagram page we follow called Face Melts. And I think we've both found quite a few bands from it. And I just found out they put out a monthly playlist. And I listened to it today, a bit of it today. And there's some good songs on it.
Nice. I'll check that out.
Yeah, check out that Instagram page you have in Face Melts. It's gnarly.
Yeah. Songs of the week, then. I'm going to go Exit 59 by Disco.
Nice. Good song. Did we talk about that? We
Yes,
did talk
in
about
the
it at the beginning, yeah. Mine's going to be a song called Tree Sap by Cabinet. It's I think it's an all-instrumental bluegrass jam. Never heard the band before. Just came on my shuffle the other day.
Nice.
Really liked it, so I'll put that one on my song of the week.
On my song of the week.
Alrighty, isn't that?
That is it, and I'm ready to conk out.
Yeah, she did at work today, so we're doing this a little later than we usually like to do, but the episode will still go out. And as far as the All Jammed Up schedule goes, we'll have one next week, and then the following Monday is kind of tentative. We might push it to Wednesday or Thursday, just because with the festival that weekend. And I think I'd rather do an All Jammed Up Fest recap than put one out Monday early and not be able to talk about it at all. So I think
That's
that
fair.
we'll probably delay that one, but we'll confirm next week for you guys.
Stay tuned.
So have a great week.
Buy your tickets.
Buy your tickets. If you think you're going to go and you haven't bought your tickets yet, buy them now. It really makes a difference for us.
Takes a little bit of stress off the shoulders.
Yeah. And so yeah, if you can, buy your tickets and we'll see you there.
Yeah.
But have a great week, everybody. And remember, wherever you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Well, all jammed up, hey, that's where it's going down. Best damn pot in this old Asheville town. More than enough old stories to go around. And I'm all jammed up right now. Yes, I'm all jammed up right now.